Hello and welcome to your monthly twin flame full masculine and feminine reading. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope you're enjoying the new format. Very exciting month, very exciting year so far. I intuited and had lots of messages that this is really a year of focus, a year of visioning, and it's really about carving out the world as you want it to be and the relationship as you want it to be, really molding the physical reality. And this is happening. It's extremely exciting. I'm blown away by the response to this new twin flame master course I have created. I was honestly kind of trying to move away from the twin flame label or the twin flame story because it just is unconditional love and it works for everyone, and I just wanted to get it out to as many people as possible. And that is still true. It doesn't really matter what we call it. But having said that, I was very guided to really clarify and was given so many messages about this twin flame journey that if you are interested in really grasping and living in absolute joy and freedom and abundance on this twin flame journey, then please check out the course, and I'll put the link up here for you to click through and in the description. There are some places left, but they're going super fast, so I get on that today because yeah, it's selling fast. Anyway, I hope you've had a wonderful new year. A little bit more shuffle and then we will get out the reading. A little bit more. Right, we are ready, off we go. Cards are a bit jumpy. Awesome, wow, bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, bottom of the deck. So, yep, surrender. For February, it's a really big message of surrender. So we need to just align with what is happening. We cannot be powerful in our physical reality unless we absolutely align with it. This is a card of destiny. It's a card of divine timing and divine will, and it's a beautiful card. If you look at it, it's a beautiful card with lots of color, and just it's full of all of the different aspects and parts of life, and it's really about embracing. Sometimes the clouds are dark. Sometimes, you know, there's these gilded golden creatures. Sometimes it feels like it's this mythical golden land. Sometimes it feels like it's just boring and grey and cloudy or difficult and we can't see through. But it's really about embracing all of those experiences. It's about embracing the clay, what I'm now calling the clay of life. So what is happening is clay. So you've got to take that, receive it, and then mold it. We must align with what is before we can create what we want. Right, so let's get the rest of these cards out. Right, first card for the masculine is the King of Swords. Second card for the masculine is the King of Wands. Third card for the masculine is the, I was going to say, is it the King of Cups? It's the Page of Cups. Fourth card for the masculine is the Fool. Amazing. First card for the feminine is the Seven of Wands. Second card for the feminine is the Eight of Cups. Third card for the feminine is the Two of Cups. Fourth card for the feminine is the Knight of Pentacles. Middle cards are going to go down. We will turn them over later. Bottom of the deck is that Wheel of Fortune. Nice in the middle there. So let's go straight in. First card for the masculine is this King of Swords. King of Swords is the King of Swords is a powerful archetype representing knowledge, solidarity, and truth. It's interesting that the masculine here has a lot of these court cards going on. So I feel as though this month it's like he's playing lots of different characters, or lots of these different characters are playing out for him. So we just have to be aware of that. It might feel a little bit swingy for him, and as though he's kind of showing up in all these different guises. And that happens because he's calibrating. He's moving into calibrating who he is in the world and who he wants to be in the world, which is culminating in that Fool on that fourth card. So it's a little bit of an exploratory time. It might feel as though he's a little bit all over the place. Different characters, so to speak, or different sides of him will be showing up at different times. So this King of Swords kind of knows. He's the one that knows. In a kind of healthier, so to speak, position, he will come across as wise, and it can represent kind of people, masculine figures in positions of authority or positions of wisdom. So writers, lawyers, teachers, academics. So he kind of represents knowledge and knowing. But when he's kind of more in a negative position, he can be quite stubborn, and he feels quite stubborn. In this context, it feels as though he knows what his ideas are, and he knows what his truth is, and that's what it is. The feminine starts off with this Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is kind of similar. It's similar as in it kind of represents stand your ground. There may be a little bit of a standoff kind of energy here with the masculine and the feminine. But the advice for the feminine is to stand your ground. That 7 means you've got to the top of the mountain. You've found your victory. Don't go backwards. Stay where you are. It may be that the masculine seems opposed, or that his position is fixed, but stay in your position. You are not wrong. Your perspective is not wrong. Part of this relationship is about you understanding that you can be in opposite perspectives and it works. We don't need to agree all the time. We just need to be true to ourselves. And this is how that gift, this relationship is such a gift, because we get to take that out into the world as well. Second card for the masculine is the King of Wands. The King of Wands really represents the seer. He didn't have much to say for a long time for me in this Rider-Waite Centennial Tarot deck here. He was kind of a little bit hidden. He represented the kind of creative male figure or masculine figure, but he just didn't speak very loudly. And I feel like that's because this archetype, this character, wasn't really manifesting and wasn't really present in the collective. And he is now, and he is the seer. He is the intuitive masculine. He comes to meet that Queen of Wands, intuitive feminine. He sees a future. He's a visionary. He is connected to spirit, to the wands, to power and fire and passion and the spiritual arts, shall we say, in a soft, gentle, but powerful way. And it's wonderful. There's a lot of outward energy for both masculine and feminine, so moving away from one another in this spread, we can see. So it's again the exploration of the self. So I feel like for much of February, this is about the exploration of who we are as individuals, and it's extremely important. Twin flames must come together as two wholes, and we are always growing, always becoming more, always reaching for more and more wholeness, because we're always becoming more. That's why separation is such a huge part of the twin flame experience, or of an unconditional love experience. It doesn't matter what the terminology is. So, King of Wands, he sees. He is the intuitive masculine, but he's not necessarily focused on the feminine. He needs to find who he is in the world in a more intuitive sense, in a more intuitive way, in a more spiritual, so to speak, way. And he's experiencing himself more as that King of Wands character, where he might notice more synchronicities. He might, he's kind of getting on the train, so to speak. He's having a much more holy, I'm going to say, experience, a more spiritual, intuitive experience. And that King of Wands also represents leadership, which is evolving, definitely evolving through him. There's a softness in that King of Wands as well. I like those two kings. They're powerful, but they're present. There's always gentleness in presence because it requires a sensitivity. And it's there with him. The feminine at the same time has this 8 of Cups. So this again represents going out into the world to explore. There is a potential here that the feminine feels lack. Lack is part of that 8 of Cups, but the glory and the beauty in that 8 of Cups energy is that she feels the lack, or there's a perception of lack, because the lack isn't actually really true. There is no lack in the universe. There is never any lack of anything. Everything is always full and whole and present and available, literally always, including the perception of lack. So there are 8 cups here, but there seems to be a gap. This is a good thing because it causes us to take action, to move. It is that awareness that there is more is what propels us on our journey. This 8 represents a kind of pilgrimage. The full moon is there. There's something in that full moon, the full moon for this month. Maybe it's a good idea to go on a journey, go on a little retreat, go away, or just even take a couple of hours out to be with that full moon energy, to do some kind of session. People do, I don't know, kind of like gong baths, sound baths, those kind of things, even if it's just a meditation. I feel like there's a strong message there for that full moon. But this 8 represents a pilgrimage, a journey. There is a little bit of a potential, as I was saying, that she experiences, or that he's not around, the lack. Be careful not to focus too much on lack in that 8 of Cups energy. She may feel like there's nothing here. And it can happen. It might feel like, oh, there's no point in this. There's nothing here. I shouldn't bother. I should just go and do something else over here. And that's okay too. But really it's about this paradox, this non-duality. So yes, there is lack, or yes, there is more for this to become, for us to become, for me to experience. But there isn't actually any lack here. This experience is full. There's nothing wrong here, and yet there is more, and that desire for more is what enables me to keep going and to keep, to take action towards the next step and the next level. Third card for the masculine is this Page of Cups. So again, this is this sensitivity and this softness, and he is learning how to love and communicate. There's a very, very big, complete shift on that masculine side with the way that he's being in the world. For anyone that's spending time around him, it's going to feel maybe a little bit strange, because he's going to be saying things and behaving in ways that he hasn't really before. That Page of Cups is soft, it's giving, it's loving, it's unconditional, it's communicative. He's going to be talking about his emotions. He's going to be talking to people about, it's going to seem random, he's going to be talking to people about kind of these kind of emotional things. The pages can represent children and childhood, so I also feel like he might be wanting to talk about things that happened in his childhood, things that it's almost like he's going back to that place, that childlike, loving presence that just wants to love, that just kind of loves everyone and everything and just wants to talk about it. It's a very beautiful, very gentle, but giving. There's movement in it. It's gentle, but it's not receptive. It gives. Again, away, so to speak, from the feminine, but it's never away from her. She is also part of him in the world, but it's not necessarily that he's communicating that to her, though there is the capacity for him to do that. I feel like this third card for the feminine, this Two of Cups, which comes after that Eight of Cups, is part of this journey. That Eight of Cups leads to that two, which is her experiencing the togetherness and the bond. The mirror. I feel like it's that no matter how hard she may try to get away, and I also feel like this is a bit of a message about this is a spiritual journey and not a relationship. It's both. And it can seem paradoxical. This is about my spiritual growth and my journey. That's what I'm going to focus upon. Yes, it is. But it's also about the physical relationship or the physical experience of this relationship. She cannot get away from that. She's not supposed to get away from that, so to speak. The whole point is to fully grasp the individuality and the personal and the united and the collective and the relationship, the merging. It's to embrace them both. So I think this thinking that can be challenging. Oh, I either go, it's either or. No, it's not. It's and, it's both. We meet in the middle. And this is this energy of this Two of Cups, this very kind of like we meet in the middle. And again, this namaste I'm drawn to, you know, the divine spirit in me meets the divine spirit in you. When we see each other, when we look at one another. It's about seeing each other with new eyes. I feel like that Eight of Cups, that kind of journey, that seeking, it does represent seeking on that feminine side. She will find that love. She will always be finding that love, and she will be drawn back to it and drawn back to it. There is also a capacity here that she might have that experience with somebody else, because it's just that she has that experience. Truly, the twin flame relationship shifts us into a vibration or a parallel or a universe or a perspective whereby we get to see everybody in love. Truly, that Two of Cups is about presence. There's no past, there's no future. There's just you. I'm seeing you now for who you are now. And when we meet everybody in that space, love just occurs. Love just occurs in that non-resistant space. Love that Two of Cups over there for the feminine. But I feel like there is this strong message. She tries to get away. She tries to focus on herself or her own journey and her own path. But she's always being brought back to relationship and love. And exactly what I just explained in that Two of Cups. And that Page of Cups and that Two of Cups is a very similar energy. Like that there's very similar reflective mirrored energies in these cards. That King of Swords and that Seven of Wands, similar energy. King of Wands and the Eight of Cups, similar energy, going out into the world in an intuitive, maybe spiritual way. The Page of Cups and the Two of Cups, it's loving, it's seeing, it's presence, it's generosity. And then similarly happens with the fourth card for both the masculine and the feminine. Fourth card for the masculine is the Fool. Major Arcana, a new beginning, part of his destiny connected to that Wheel of Fortune. Destiny's playing out with these major arcanas. It's a piece of a note in the music of his destiny that is going to be played out now, where he is starting afresh. And it feels like new ideas. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? All of this, it's just, I'm new. It's like a rebirth. And a beginning of the story, and there's presence in it. And there's this new brightness, this is very bright energy that I can feel with this Fool. Again, it's kind of, so to speak, away from the feminine, but so representing who he is in the world, who he's being and becoming. It's a new chapter and a new step. There's a big metamorphosis on this masculine side. He goes through those three different kind of characters in this exploration of himself, and different aspects of himself. There's also a very collective, if you're watching this, you're very, very connected to collective energies. You are true in love. I feel like it's very important to say this. You are here to live in love. You are here to teach love. You are here to teach love by example. And part of that is knowing the self in the world, understanding how to be love and how to explore all these different aspects of being human through the eyes of love, and allowing the energy of love to absolutely drive all of your action and thought and experience. And that is happening on both sides equally. The feminine has more of a grasp of this, and always has, psychologically, mentally, just has an increased awareness of this relationship. The fourth card she has is that Knight of Pentacles. That Knight of Pentacles represents going out into the world and being of service, practical service. And it's gifting. It's gifting herself practically to the world. Some people can go a little bit too out of body, actually, or too spiritual, so to speak, in the twin flame experience or unconditional love. It's difficult to experience it in the practical world. The feminine is grasping and needs to grasp that she is a leader in this regard. And she has a massive gift for the world. You have a massive gift for the world, feminine. And this February is going to be a time when it begins to unfold, and that action starts to be taken. You've got to take your gift out into the world, and you have to invest in the world, in your gift, just by being you. That knight is he gives this incredible gift, and there is wealth there. So it's earthly, material aspect. So time, focus, money. That's really what you can gift to the world. So that feminine is moving into service in that way. Born from love, born from connection, and also born from this relationship, born from meeting in love and emotion and heart and connection. Then that is what enables her to be of true service and value to the world. And it will come back. Every time we are truly serve by getting out of the way and allowing ourselves to be moved in love, that's when that comes back. So both going out into the world. For the feminine, it's more about her grabbing that practical experience and being practical. It's more practical. Investing in things. Investing in what she wants more of. Extremely important. Investing in the people you want more of. Investing in the businesses you want more of. Investing in the love you want more of. Just really investing. And that's how we serve the world. Every time we spend money, or we give our focus to something, or we spend time on something, we cast a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. So it's about her getting very careful with what she wants to gift the world with. And really it's just about being herself and being generous. But discerning where she wants to put those things. And when we do that, that's when it comes back. It will come back tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000,000-fold. When we invest in what we want, it grows. So she will receive in that too. The root is the 5 of Cups, and the crown is the Tower. Right, so interesting. The Tower, major arcana, again, destiny, timing, the collective, this reading, extremely important. There's a reason why you're here. You're supposed to be here. So the root is that 5 of Cups, represents perspective. There's the potential here to feel as though there's a lot of loss involved and a lot of lack involved. I feel like that's because there's two very separate things going on between masculine and feminine this month. So it can feel like all is lost or all is not here. The love is spilt. It's not so great. And that can happen on both sides. But that Two of Cups is there and present. That 5 is an invitation. It's saying both is true. That Two of Cups is present, and the Three of Cups, the 3 spilt cups. The figure is looking at the 3 cups. So there is definitely a message in this card that there's more of a potential to experience lack and loss. But everything is always two things. Everything has its equal and opposite at the same time. And so equal to the experience of loss is always the experience of love. Everything's always equal. The greater the experience of loss, the greater the love. So it's completely possible that we tune into the love. The loss only exists, or the lack only exists because of the love. So to be in that wholeness, to experience that 5 in wholeness. I do feel like there's a big strong message though with this Tower. The Tower is about things kind of changing, things changing swiftly, things kind of getting thrown out, and just very big shift and change. And I feel like it is really related to that 5. It's saying, well, this 5 can be destroyed. That 5 energy, it's not going to be destroyed, but I feel like it's the lack that's getting destroyed. But this is a big deal. This is a really big deal in terms of being able to deal with life as paradox. Like I said at the beginning with that King of Swords and that 7 of Wands, it's about two opposing ideas, maybe, two opposing positions or perspectives existing simultaneously. Like within that 5 of Cups, the tendency is towards the 3, towards the lack. When we come into, so I feel like we're coming into balance with this both and not either or perspective, because that really is the key to twin flame bliss and harmony and relationship, and is just the core of this relationship here. That Tower is about everything kind of being uprooted and shifted really quickly, and kind of just, you know, like that lightning strikes and everything just kind of shifts and changes. If it feels, it requires that we keep up with ourselves. There's a swift change here. I'm drawn again to that Wheel of Fortune card. There's swift, sudden change. But I feel like the message is we're moving out of this 5 of Cups. So let that happen. It can be scary, that Tower, because it feels like the ground is taken out from under us. But when we're truly present, which is what love wants, it doesn't really matter. We don't need any attachments. There's a message here about an attachment to the way love should be. That's what I feel like that 5 of Cups is about. Love is supposed to be like this, it's not supposed to be like this. And that Tower is saying, you don't get to say what love's supposed to be. You don't know what love is. You're not supposed to know what love is. You're supposed to experience love. The mirror of this relationship allows you to experience yourself as love. But this is not a knowing. It's not a judgment. You don't get to categorize love or judge it and say this is love and this isn't in any moment. You don't. So that's what's being changed and moved through with that Tower card. The card that the masculine brings in, beautiful, is the Lovers. And the card that the feminine brings in, the 9 of Swords. This is interesting. So that Lovers card represents balance. Again, it's a major arcana. The masculine is just being guided and kind of getting out of the way. He's always been good at that, and allowing life's movements and steps and his destiny, so to speak, to unfold. Even though he is looking very much away, very self-focused maybe, and very much just in his own experience. In regard to the feminine, he is absolutely moving into an understanding, a conscious understanding that this is a partnership, and is moving back to the holiness of that Adam and Eve sort of experience. So he's moving into more of the ancestral energy of this masculine and feminine coming together in this Garden of Eden, in this paradise, that energy is really growing in him. And that's the energy that he moves into when he turns in towards the feminine. There's a lot of energy moving in the opposite direction. So it also feels like that's really big. That's a really big deal. So if he's not necessarily showing up in that physically, it's just because that takes a lot to align with. And as I said, we must experience our individuality as much as our separation, as much as our togetherness. And so he's experiencing and exploring himself as the individual to a great extent. But when he comes in towards the feminine, he exists as part of that whole. And that's very powerful. He is existing and experiencing himself as part of this team. This Lovers is an extremely powerful energy and an extremely powerful card. It represents this kind of narratives, just the story of this Adam and Eve and this paradise, this partnership. It's only us. And yet there is this world, we're completely connected to this world of paradise that we get to create, that we live in, this Garden of Eden. This is the destiny for the relationship and for the twin flames. And he is absolutely moving into, and that is occurring essentially for him. And I do believe it's conscious. It's he believes in this. The feminine, I'll have to say, doesn't seem like she's quite believing it though. She's still in this position that it needs to be, I'll see it, I'll believe it when I see it. That's not the way life works. We've got to believe it in order to see it. She has to believe it in order to see it. It is there. It is there. It requires that everything gets destroyed. Everything that you believe about twin flames even needs to be destroyed constantly. But that doesn't mean that you don't believe anything. So to be non-attached doesn't mean that we don't believe, doesn't mean that we don't have beliefs, doesn't mean that we don't have truths that we experience, but we don't hold on to them. We exist in presence, which means that in every moment we ask, what's true now? What's true now? What's true now? That's the experience. And there can be things that recur in that. So it could be like, I love strawberries. What's true now? I love strawberries. What's true now? I love strawberries. But there's no attachment to that. There's no, we must open out into the question and then receive the answers. And then we're constantly, continuously present and connected. That needs to be true for this relationship. There is no truth. There is nothing to attach to. There's no past. Nothing exists here until we go, oh, what exists here? Oh, this exists. And this is very much part of the work that I do, the personal work, and this work that we're doing now here with the tarot. Where are we now? What's happening now? And just, how does it feel? Is this true? Does that feel true? Does this feel true? Just moving through it, no attachment. I feel like there's a message here as well for people that maybe watch a lot of tarot or a lot of channeled material they get through. Don't attach to any of it. It's all questions. Keep questioning. Question. How do you feel about it? Where's your truth? Constantly. But I also feel like that tower is saying, it's all kind of come tumbling down. But that ain't no bad thing. That's a good thing. Because it makes room and it makes space for your destiny to unfold. That's what that Wheel of Fortune is about. But on that feminine side, we have this Nine of Swords, which represents anxiety, represents sleeplessness, represents psychological difficulty. But it only occurs when she attaches to these beliefs and she gets overwhelmed. This is true, and this is true, and this is true, and this is true. Or she tries to work it out. As I said previously, love is not here to be understood, it's here to be felt and experienced. when we get out of the way, we realize that we are love. And that we all are love. And when we can genuinely get into that place and space, we just get used by God, source, life itself, love. We become vessels and vehicles for it, and there is no difference between us and what is happening all the time. We are experiencing ourselves as part of life unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. There's no attachment to what should be or what needs to be, and no resistance to any physical circumstance. Again, a very important part of unconditional love or twin flame relationships. So there is a potential here for angst. On that feminine side, there's a potential for angst, but the good thing about the swords is they change and shift because they're perspectives. You have control over your perspectives. We can change it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that one needs to change that 9. Maybe we need to look at those beliefs. They want to come up. They're there for a reason. It can be good when something comes out to be seen. Here's a belief I hold. Here's a belief I hold. Here's a belief I hold. Here's a thought. Here's a thought. Here's a thought. Oh, this is not fun. But we can slow that down and break it down. There's awareness. There's always increased awareness there. So, you can look at those thoughts and look at those beliefs. You can also just not do that. You can also just look at that 9 of Swords and go, well, there's potential. If I feel this month at some point like everything's overwhelming and it's all difficult and anxious and I feel I can't carry on, that's because I'm believing things. That's because of my own thoughts and beliefs. It's not actually connected to what is actually happening here. If you're watching this, like I said, on that feminine side, and you feel like that's an experience you've had, or that could happen, and that happens this month. This is what's behind. This is what's available. The lovers. The wheel of fortune is turning. Trust life. Take a leap of faith. You do not know. You do not know. Outcome we have here is 3 of Pentacles. Love it, love it, love this energy. So, the 3 of Pentacles is teamwork. It requires that you take on expertise and mentorship. And I'm drawn to this course that I'm doing. It's launching before February begins, but this video is going out kind of, mid-January. You can also, I'll see what happens, but you can also, I'll be doing and available for one-to-one sessions. I really feel like this 3 is about taking on mentorship. And in my personal journey, I'm absolutely grabbing a hold of my position and role here as mentor in these relationships. That 3 is about taking on expertise to help you build something together. It's that 3 energy. It's about building something of glory. Secondary message, this takes time. Saying if you feel that this has been going on for a long time, that's life. It's never going to end. This is always a journey of building and becoming more and more and more. You're building a great, huge cathedral here. You're building a space together whereby people can gather in sacred, powerful community and love. This is not just about you. This is about you creating a huge space for you to live within, but also for you to invite others to live within. You have an important job to do here. You cannot do it alone, but there is expertise. I'm offering myself. I do the daily cards here. I do daily cards here and on Instagram. There's Patreon available, and I've got this master course available, and there's one-to-one sessions. Every single way that I can be of service, and to be a messenger, these monthly readings, I'm absolutely available here for you. So grab it, use it, take it, use this, use me. It's what I'm here for. Take on, it's mentorship, take on that advice, but from people that know, or people that are worthy of you allowing them to mentor you in only the way that you can know. But take on learned advice. It really is about an architect, a visionary, someone that can help you in your building. Take on aid from people that understand what you wish to create. It's physical, it's practical, it's earthly, it's pentacles. It's saying take it on for real, in real life. Don't just watch the videos on here on YouTube or anywhere else, or on Facebook groups, or just on the internet. Make it real. If you want to make it a practical reality, you've got to take it on practically. You've got to allow this to be real and not separate it out from your practical reality. Take on the practical help that is here and is offered. And it's also this message, it's happening. It's being built. We're moving together. Masculine and feminine are coming together right now to build. It's very, very strong. It's very, very powerful. If you haven't seen the yearly, I did a live yearly reading. Please check that out, because I feel like I'm giving this reading and it's part of, I feel like, because this is going to happen. You've got to kind of get ready. You've got to build these foundations. This Three of Pentacles is about building the foundations. You've got to build really good, solid foundations. If it's taking time, it's because you're building something huge. There's no bad timing here. You are not behind in time. Everything is in perfect timing. If it seems slow to you, it's because the foundations need to be solid. And then again, it's like, make sure those foundations are built solidly, and you get help. You get mentorship, you get help from the places that feel good, that are right, that's practical, that's not just out there, not just the esoteric, not just the spiritual. The practical is extremely important if you really want to live in love, and it is possible. Not only is it possible, it's probable if you take on that help. It's here. You need to be present in yourself. Two wholes coming together, taking on help to create something. So, excuse me. So that's it. Depending on when you're watching this, there could be spaces left on the master course that I'm doing. It also, if you haven't watched the masterclass video that I gave, because essentially there's these 7 steps, 7 easy, very easy things that we need to kind of grasp and live and understand practically, that I've channeled in order to really live in absolute twin flame glory. You are here to live your best life. You are here to live in love. And I promise, love is not about suffering. It's about freedom. It's about sharing. It's about living your dream. Your dream exists for a reason. Your desires exist for a reason. Whatever your dream is and your vision for this relationship is, you must hold fast to it, especially if you're on that feminine side. Everything that's in the way will be taken away from you. If you feel like something's being taken away, let it go. Life is giving you what you need. Don't hold on to what you don't need. As I said, depending on when you're watching this, if there is spaces, click the link, see if there are spaces on the master course. If you are really, really serious, and you need to be serious about living this practically, it's extremely intensive. It's daily. You get daily support from me. You get 6 full sessions, personal sessions, one every 2 weeks or so, 1.5 to 2 weeks. You get three group sessions a week with meditations. You get a meditation weekly that you get to repeat every day. This is about aligning with a very high vibration of love constantly. And I am devoting myself to everybody on this course. And the people that have signed up already, they're already on the train. It's already happening. But this is high vibration. It's committing to 100% committing to the physical life that you want to lead. 100% committing to it. And I'm opening the door. So if you want that, if you're ready for that, if it resonates, then it's here. But as I said before, I'm here in every single way I can be to get to everybody that needs it. Because I know this year is a year when you've got to know what you want and you've got to focus on it. This is the year of the twin flame. This is the year of clear vision. It's the year of clarity. Everything's out of the way now. The only thing that can hold you back is you. Genuinely. And I'll tell you that it hasn't been that way. Has not been that way. The time is ripe. The time is now. So, all doors are open. You just got to step through them. Okay, have an incredible month. I'll see you on the dailies. I'll probably see you tomorrow. Huge hug. You're here for a reason. Thank you so much for getting through to the end. And I see you and I love you. Lots of love.